So I feel compelled to respond to this video, not because I have any shadow of a doubt of a care about how this applies to me in my life. I'm a grown woman and I'm going to act as grown women act accordingly. This is for the young black women who I still have a heart for, who I want to see do well in this world and want to see flourish and prosper. Let's decenter men in 2023 and beyond. Let's decenter them from our decisions. Let our decision making come from a place not of desperation, but of informed choice. So let's address the meat and potatoes of what she actually said. She said that the desirability of black men increases as they get older. And the opposite is true for black women, that their desirability decreases as they get older. She linked this to our fertility. I think she says it doesn't matter how in shape, how fit black women are, how beautiful they are, no matter how many degrees, by the mere fact that we're getting older, that our value and our marketability and desirability decreases in the eyes of men. I want to help young black women and girls understand what gaslighting is. What you're hearing from Ebony K Williams is her own insecurity and her own projections about the decisions that she has made in her own personal life. And she is projecting that onto other black women. And I think that is rather irresponsible. What Ebony K Williams has done is a clear example of projection through gaslighting. The whole concept of the Mrs. degree is something I believe is taught to women of all groups and all races except for black women. Black women are taught to leave the men out of the equation. However, I want to address the projection and the gaslighting of Ebony K. Williams' statement. First and foremost, we need to address the logical fallacies that she has put out into the atmosphere. I'm so glad that I'm kingdom and I'm so above this and all of this stuff is beneath me. But again, I'm reaching down. I want to help black women get out of this paradigm of centering men in your decision making. This is how Miss Williams feels in her own heart about her own life. And I want to acknowledge and validate her feelings about the opportunity that she feels that she has missed. Right now, she's looking back in her life and she has regrets. She has regrets about not seeking a mate earlier on in life. What we tend to do when we have these types of regrets is that we tend to project this onto everybody else. We want this to be everybody else's issue. We want this to be everybody else's problem. So we feel better about the decisions that we make. And unfortunately, Miss Williams, while I do have some agreements with you that young women should be looking for mates, viable mates, when they're on the collegiate level, your preconceived bias that women decrease in value is something that you got from one of these manosphere talking groups, or one of your male friends, or somebody told you that. And if you believe that about yourself, that your value simply decreases because your ability to produce a child becomes less and less as you get older, I mean, I leave you to your logic and I leave you to that thought. But I'm here to tell black women that your value does not depend on what some man out here says. Your value does not depend on what some woman who is having regrets about her life says. Your value is determined first and foremost by God Almighty that made you and formed you. I think it's absolutely irresponsible to put out an assumption like this. And again, it's your projection and your gaslighting about your own personalized value, that you feel that your value has decreased because you've gotten older and your ability to produce children has decreased. This is unfair to project onto young women, and this is unfair to project onto older women who could care less about having a child or have had their children and they're good to go. I don't think Ebony K. Williams is being very honest with herself, because these are her own desires. These are her own wants. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. She wants the whole family dynamic. But because she feels, and people are telling her that this opportunity is past, she feels it's her responsibility to tell other women, get that Mrs. degree. Don't be like me because I feel some kind of way about missing my opportunity. She is now projecting her feelings of insecurity, her feelings of inadequacy on everyone else. Black women, you need to understand that people operate and speak advice to you through the lens of their own insecurity, of their own wholeness or lack thereof. And you're going to have to filter through that information very carefully and not internalize it, or you're going to share in the curse that they currently suffer in. I like Miss Williams, but at the same time, we have a great disagreement about what's valuable and what's not. Miss Williams also neglects to address the other elephant in the room. And since we're talking about black people in the black community, and I am a black woman, the elephant in the room is that a lot of black men don't want to get married. When they're well into their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're still out here playing because they believe what you just told black women. They believe that their sexual market value is increasing as they get older, even though when they're 25 and 30, they got erectile dysfunction. They have babies, 6 babies out of wedlock, and they have not taken responsibility for one woman, leaving a community filled with children that are unloved, unwanted, and unappreciated. But we're telling these men that their sexual market value has increased as they get older. Do I believe that black women have a role to play in that? Yes, I do, because I'm even handed. You're calling them kings when they have not shown any kingly authority over their community. Every community with a Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in it is disgusting and run down. The out that many black men have, instead of taking responsibility for what their community looks like, is blaming you as a black woman, number one, and number two, blaming feminism, blaming welfare. Miss Williams is buying into the popular talk that deflects blame and deflects responsibility and accountability off of what is going on in the relationships between black men and black women off of black men. So the logical fallacy that she starts off with is simply an opinion. Being that I'm a grown woman, you can't emotionally trigger me, but I do know that there are young black women who are severely emotionally triggered by what this woman had to say. My advice to you is, number one, you need to consider the source, number one. Get your feelings out of it, because your feelings sometimes can lie, but do not let anyone talk you out of your feelings. There's this tendency to tell Williams, oh, you get your feelings. Your feelings are not in it first off. Your feelings are a gift from God. You need to learn how to harness them and to control them, but do not ignore them. Your feelings are given to you as a clue so that you understand how to move forward. You understand that something you heard that message like something's not right, and your first response is to emotionally react. I'm telling you, as someone who is a little bit more learned and has had some experience in life, to not emotionally react to this, but to consider the source where it is coming from and then respond accordingly. Sit on it, chew on the information. Ask yourself, is this verified? Is this just hearsay? This will only apply to you if you believe it. This will only apply to you if you believe the preconceived notion which was presented at the beginning of Miss Williams' statement. If you believe those statements and you believe that your value is decreasing as a woman simply because your fertility is decreasing and your age is increasing, then have at it. You need to find out who you are as a woman. But for those women like myself and others who have actually gone and done the work, who are self-actualized, who know who they are, none of these things matter. If you want to be in a relationship, cultivate yourself towards being the woman that is going to thrive in a relationship. Don't make decisions that are going to be at your detriment. There are some things that I did agree with Miss Williams with. I do believe that women who are genuinely interested in relationships with men should be pursuing them at the collegiate level. If you are in college, sure. But that shouldn't be your main focus. That shouldn't be your main goal. This is going to take a level of honesty that a lot of people just don't have. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. Please understand that women are getting married every day. I see it every day. As a matter of fact, the last few years, the weddings that I've gone to, black women have been women who are age 40 plus. There's only one that was like in her 30s. But again, women are getting married every day. Stop believing the lie that once you hit a certain age that there is no hope for this. If you run into a male who has that mindset, or a female, and I'm using those words very intently, then you need to run the other way. Thank you for listening, and I hope this video helped black women who need it.